The American Wild West is often remembered for its lawless legends and rugged outlaws. But beneath that chaos, towns and territories were desperate to find order. From bizarre curfews to strange bans on personal habits, some of the laws they passed were just as wild as the frontier itself. These rules didn't just show the struggles of frontier life, they revealed a peculiar side of history that defined the West. Today, we are diving into the 15 strangest laws ever enforced in the Wild West. Get ready, because things are about to get weird. Number 1. The Sundae soda ban. In Evanston, Wyoming, a strange twist in Sabbath laws changed dessert history forever. Believe it or not, selling ice cream sodas on Sundays was strictly forbidden. To maintain religious devotion, the government banned the bubbly, carbonated treat. But clever shop owners found a loophole. They began serving plain ice cream with syrup, but no soda, creating the famous ice cream sundae we know today. Some believe the name itself was inspired by this bizarre law, a sweet solution to a very rigid rule. Number 2. No mustaches in church. In the legendary town of Tombstone, Arizona, facial hair was more than just a style choice. Some frontier churches actually banned men with mustaches from attending services. Why? Because back then, a thick mustache was often associated with gamblers and criminals. It became a symbol of debauchery, something the church simply would not tolerate. This strange regulation was meant to maintain decency, as mining towns grew crowded with fortune seekers from all over. So, in Tombstone, if you wanted to pray, you might have had to shave first. Another bizarre chapter from the Wild West. Number 3. No dancing after midnight. In Abilene, Kansas, the city actually banned public dancing after midnight to control the rowdy atmosphere of local saloons. These strict curfews reflected the blue laws applied across America, designed to promote public order and sobriety in frontier towns. But enforcement was no easy task. Legendary lawmen like Wild Bill Hickok were responsible for making sure partygoers followed the rules. Imagine that, a world-famous gunfighter acting as a midnight dance police. It was just another day in the strange and strict reality of the Wild West. Number 4. No ice cream cones in back pockets. In several southern and western towns, a bizarre law was passed banning people from carrying ice cream in their back pockets. Why such a silly rule? It was actually a clever way to prevent horse theft. Thieves would place a cone in their pocket to lure horses away without using force. If caught, they could simply claim it was an accident and that the horse followed them on its own. This strange regulation might sound ridiculous today, but it targeted a very real problem on the frontier. The Wild West, where even a sweet treat could be a tool for crime. Number 5. No celebratory gunfire. In the rowdy town of Dodge City, Kansas, firing a gun to celebrate was strictly forbidden within city limits. Because stray bullets posed a deadly threat during festivals and public gatherings, authorities cracked down hard to protect the citizens. This ordinance was one of the first efforts to regulate firearms in these famously noisy cattle towns. Imagine the irony, a place known for its gunslingers banning the very sound that defined it. It was a desperate move to bring safety to the heart of the Wild West. Number 6. No bathing in public water troughs. In gritty towns like Deadwood, South Dakota, authorities would fine anyone caught bathing in public water troughs. These basins were meant for thirsty livestock, not for humans to wash off the trail dust. Using them for a bath posed a serious risk of spreading disease and contaminating the animal's water supply. This unusual regulation highlighted how frontier communities prioritized public health, even in the most rugged and dirty conditions. In the Wild West, the water was for the horses, so you'd better find a tub elsewhere. Number 7. No gambling on Sundays. Even in towns famous for their wild lifestyle, like Virginia City, Nevada, the law stepped in to ban gambling on Sundays. These regulations were designed to promote rest and religious practice, reflecting a desperate struggle to maintain decency against the constant pull of saloons and casinos. Of course, many establishments found creative ways to bypass the law and keep the games running behind closed doors. It was a classic battle between morality and the frontier's favorite vice. In the Wild West, even the luckiest gamblers had to face the strict rules of the Sabbath. Number 8. Women banned from saloons. In towns like Dodge City, strict ordinances were passed banning women from entering saloons unless they were actually working there. The goal was to maintain so-called moral standards and reinforce the rigid gender roles of the era. This bizarre law shows how frontier society desperately tried to balance wild freedom with a strict sense of propriety. While the men gambled and drank, the doors were often closed to the other half of the population. It was a stark reminder of the social boundaries that existed even in the lawless Wild West. Number 9. Must own a gun. Even in towns famous for their wild lifestyle, like Tombstone, Arizona, the law required every able-bodied man to own and maintain a firearm to serve in the local militia. These regulations were designed to ensure security and community readiness against constant threats. Of course, this law also created many contradictions, because it sometimes directly conflicted with the safety and stability of the town itself. It was a classic battle between the need for protection and the real risks on the frontier. In the Wild West, even owning a gun became a mandatory duty rather than just a personal right. Number 10. No spitting on the sidewalk. Even in towns famous for their wild lifestyle, like Cheyenne, Wyoming, the law banned spitting tobacco juice on the sidewalks. These regulations were designed to solve the unsanitary conditions and improve public health in muddy, dusty streets. Of course, in a rugged frontier land full of smoke and rough habits, this law caused quite a few difficulties for the locals. It was a classic battle between the effort to build civilization and the wild habits of the Wild West. In the Wild West, even spitting on the sidewalk was prohibited, showing the early attempts to establish order and cleanliness amid the chaos. Number 11. No hats indoors. Even in towns famous for their wild lifestyle, the law still issued orders banning hats indoors, especially in churches and schools. These regulations were designed to promote respect and maintain proper etiquette in society. Of course, in a rugged land full of dust, wind, and cowboy habits, this rule was often broken and led to quite strict penalties. It was a classic battle between traditional cultural values and the wild spirit of freedom in the Wild West. In the Wild West, even wearing a hat indoors was prohibited, showing the effort to uphold social standards amid the chaos. Number 12. Strict speed limits for horses. Even in towns famous for their wild lifestyle, like Tombstone and Dodge City, the law still enforced strict speed limits for horses on the main streets. These regulations were designed to ensure public safety amid the bustling crowds and narrow roads. Of course, anyone caught riding too fast would be immediately stopped and heavily fined, because authorities prioritized safety in the chaos. It was a classic battle between urban order and the wild instincts of the frontier. In the Wild West, even the speed of a horse was tightly controlled to prevent disorder and accidents. Numero 13. No swearing in public. Even in towns famous for their wild lifestyle, like Deadwood, South Dakota, the law strictly prohibited swearing in public. These regulations were designed to maintain civility and order within the community amid the chaos. Of course, violators faced fines or even arrest. because the community valued proper language and etiquette. It was a classic battle between preserving social harmony and the rough, wild habits of the frontier. In the Wild West, even cursing on the street was strictly banned, showing the effort to control language for the sake of peace. Number 14, no duels allowed. Even in towns famous for their wild lifestyle, the law still issued clear bans on dueling. These regulations were designed to reduce deadly confrontations and maintain social order. Of course, despite the strict prohibition, many duels still took place in secret, revealing the tension between Wild West legend and actual law. It was a classic battle between wild frontier myth and the authorities' effort to control violence. In the Wild West, even drawing guns for a duel was forbidden. Yet the legend of those showdowns lived on. Number 15. No donkeys allowed to sleep in bathtubs. Even in towns famous for their wild lifestyle, the law still passed one of the strangest rules, banning donkeys from sleeping in bathtubs. This regulation came from a real incident, when a donkey that survived a flood climbed into a bathtub and caused chaos for the rescue team. Of course, this bizarre law remains in effect in some areas, even to this day. It was a classic battle between real-world chaos and the authorities' effort to create clear regulations. In the Wild West, even letting a donkey sleep in a bathtub was prohibited, proving that nothing was too weird for the law to address. And those were the 15 strangest laws that once existed in the Wild West. These rules show us that between wild freedom and chaos, people still tried to keep some order and morality in their own very unique way. Which law surprised you the most? Drop your answer in the comments below. If you enjoy these unique vintage stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Vintage Shots so you never miss a new video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.